Action.
How do you define gender? Do you want to talk first or shall I?
Do you want to start off?
I've thought about this and it's not that straightforward in my head anymore. I think gender is a combination of physical attributes and how society perceives you and how you perceive yourself. So I think it's all three, not just your physical bits and pieces.
Little Red Riding Hood was a boy. How would it change your reflection on the story?
What's the outcome of the story?
I can't remember.
Little Red Riding Hood takes the basket with like goodies to her grandmother, and then she gets attacked. But no, she talks to a wolf in the forest, and then the wolf goes to grandmother's house, eats the grandmother, waits for Red Riding Hood. Red Riding Hood comes to grandmother's hut and eats the goat, and then I think that's how it ends.
What? I think for me it's different.
How do you remember?
Does she outwit the wolf?
There's the grandma is the wolf at the end.
Yeah, he just does the.
And
The wolf dresses up as the grandma.
the wolf dresses up. Yeah. And then what happens? Nothing, no?
I don't know.
So what's the matter if it's a boy or a girl?
I think if everyone dies, Charles, there's no moral. What's the moral of this story? I think if it was a boy, maybe the perceived vulnerability of this child wouldn't come across so well.
I mean,
possibly.
if the little boy was alone in the forest just walking.
Being accosted by a wolf, would maybe people would expect him to fight the wolf off or run away.
It's just a little boy, you know. I think the story will be the same.
Okay.
In this case.
Okay. Child is accosted by wolf whilst carrying muffins in a forest.
Yeah.
I think I would have felt disappointed if Little Red Riding Hood had been a boy and had been defeated as a child by the wolf.
But think back on when it was written and the time, because he was a male, or because he would have been a male, shall I say, he would have defeated the wolf. He wouldn't have been eaten.
No.
He would have done something to secure, because that was the whole point.
Mm-hmm.
The male gender as perceived in previous generations, and it's not really.
Women seems weaker, weren't they?
Yeah, they were. But if it's a fairy tale, it would have been overriding. It would have been the success of Little Red Riding Hood.
Mm-hmm.
Little Red Riding Hoodie. Hey.
No, I think I probably would have maybe. I think I would have felt more traumatised by the story when I was that age.
If it had been a boy?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Who had been defeated by the wolf.
How would you explain gender to a child? What does someone feel like? Do they feel like a man? Or do they feel like a lady?
Is it the feeling that the child will understand, though?
Yeah, you gotta.
How do you explain the feeling? How do you feel to a child?
This is quite difficult, I think. First, well, again, it's about, to me then, it's different to what we just said. It's about body parts as well, like little boys.
Knew this was coming.
Go on.
Little boys have got, oh God, am I going to say it? Little willies. And little girls have got...
Don't.
What's the word for it? Got a little nunu.
Right, there we go.
How would you explain it?
I wouldn't have gone down there, but I mean... you have to, I think initially you have to demonstrate there is physical differences, which are the sexual, primary sexual characteristics, I think. So that's a good phrase, I like that. We'll keep that one in. So it's to talk about the obvious physical differences, but then I think the danger now is then to try and put them into stereotypical directions, and I think you shouldn't do that anymore.
No.
And I think we've become more enlightened as to how that's not a good thing. So primarily physical characteristics to start with. My perceptions have changed with time, because when I was very young, it was very clear that there were gender roles. Men went to work, women stayed at home, and I've noticed, obviously over time, that that's changed significantly. So if you were to say, my childhood memories of what a stereotypical man was, it was a tall chap who didn't spend a great deal of time in the home because he was out working and would come home, and meanwhile the wife would stay. My mother, in that instance, in that particular kind of scenario, would be staying at home and cooking and cleaning. Now that's changed dramatically over time, and now I think it's
I don't know, my husband still don't clean, so
well, there are still some hangovers there, but I mean ultimately now there seems to be a lot more equality about it.
How would you define gender?
Gender is, what sex we are. Boy, girl.
Boy, girl?
Yeah, that's gender. Simple.
Yeah? Feminine, masculine? Yeah?
No, not necessarily.
Why?
Because they're, I suppose, attributes of things, but it's not necessarily related to your gender.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
well, obviously the differences are the physical appearances.
How much of that is superficial?
But then again, it's what you're born with, isn't it? That there are differences when you're born, and that. But
they're fun. I mean, if you look at us now,
yeah,
we have dressed differently. We
Yeah.
have different hair. All right, that's not such an option for me. But we have different hairstyles.
I was straight this morning. I was
Yeah.
so curly.
I mean, I was mindful. I was at an event on the weekend, which was a sporting event, and the boys and the girls were dressed in essentially the same kit, and their hair was wrapped up, and it was quite difficult to tell them apart.
Was it?
Mm. So, clothing, hairstyle,
Mannerisms,
mannerisms,
as well, I think
which are all
a lot.
these are so far they're all cultural.
Yeah,
Um,
that's true.
So it's only the physical, the direct physical characteristics which you can change by surgery.
Yes, you can.
So, what's the difference? Not a heck of a lot, I think.
What are the differences, similarities between men and women? Well, physically, men are hairier.
That's
Women
only
are
because women
softer.
shave. Well, that's true.
Yeah. It varies, really.
Well, physically.
Physically. Yeah.
Can I go further? Right.
Mm.
So that's physical differences.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think gender, as Freud said, is a cultural phenomenon. Like women a long time ago used to be seen as more equal, didn't they? When we were hunter-gatherers, because they had the gathering role and they could bear children and so on, and that was seen as very much more valuable, perhaps in a more primitive state of in terms of sustaining the population and so on. And then apparently women are only seen as less equal with the advent of more physical agriculture methods. Once you get farming and once you get even the basics of industrialization and that being physically stronger and so on, you end up with this this hierarchy of
But
men.
that's if you relate gender with the role that the gender develops.
Yeah.
If, for example, you are identifying the role of women with the role of caring or agricultural,
Yeah.
but gender can, if you don't identify the gender itself with the role, if you just look at the concept,
Yeah.
then it's different, no? It's not cultural, it's just, I don't know. There are places, tribes, where the role of the woman, they are the leader of the tribe, and it's not related with the role they do of harvesting or not, it's more the leadership. I don't know.
Was that the last question?